part of the answer to those questions lies in that word abomination. Now, I know what abomination means in the English language, but guess what? The Bible wasn't written in English. The people of Israel spoke Hebrew. And the Hebrew word, which we have translated abomination, was to'ibah. D-O''E-B-A-H. What's the matter, Jamal? According to Mel White, to'ibah were a set of behaviors that people in a certain time and in a certain place found tasteless or offensive. It wasn't a legal term. It had nothing to do with breaking the law. It was nothing to do with evil. It was simply something one group of people did that another group didn't approve of, found offensive. In the case of Leviticus, the people of Israel had come from one community, right? They had left the enslavement of Egypt. And now they were entering the land, the community, and the customs of Canaan. And they were looking around and they were saying, well, maybe I should say they heard God speaking. We are not to be like them. We're not to do what they are doing. We are making our own ways, claiming our own identity. You know what it reminds me of? This may or may not be a good example. But I remember being raised in northern Indiana where everybody had a white farmhouse. And then one day someone from another culture came in, and not only did they paint their house blue, but they put plastic flowers out in the yard. And in my neighborhood, that was an abomination. Right? The local farmers thought that was tasteless and offensive. And guess what? That's the beginning of subdivisions and covenants and restrictions and homeowners association. Another type of holiness codes. The holiness codes in Leviticus were created for the priests. The priests who served Yahweh, the God of Israel, the one true God. And those priests, as they were developing their faith traditions, were not to do what the neighbors were doing. They were making their own way. We follow Yahweh. We do things this way. We don't do what the other faith traditions are doing. We don't worship like that. God doesn't require that. And that brings us to the question of what were people of the other faiths doing?